Ooh, this one is pretty good. Yeah. Yo invito. Yo invito. That sounds a little like Latin, you know? Yo invito. I don't know. I mean, Spanish comes from Latin pretty much, right? So I get it. Yeah. Yo invito. Yo invito. What does that mean? It means my treat. Essentially, you're saying, I'll pay. Don't worry, I'll pay. My treat. Yo invito. Okay? So this one is a good one. I like it. Okay. If someone says, Yo invito, no te preocupes, my treat, don't worry. That's nice. That's nice, right? Or you can say this, right? If you want to pay for someone's meal, for your family, your wife, boyfriend, girlfriend. I mean, this is great. This is a really good phrase to use. Okay, so let's look at some examples. By the way, before we look at the examples, yo means I. You know that, right? yo. Okay. Invito comes from the verb invitar. Invitar has quite a few meanings. Invitar means to invite, right? It means to invite. That's one of the meanings. Also, it means, when you want to pay for something, you can say yo invito, which means my treat. Invitar also means to buy for someone. Okay. When you say, for example, I want to take you out to dinner. So you are inviting essentially in Spanish, you're using the verb invitar to say that. I want to take you out to dinner, something like that, or to eat something. So invitar can be used in those situations. And yeah, essentially you are inviting or paying for someone. So that's what you're saying. Okay. Now let's look at the examples. Let's see. Okay. Vamos a salir a almorzar. Yo invito. Vamos a salir a almorzar. Almorzar is an interesting verb. I'll tell you what it means in a second. Okay, so this means let's go out to lunch. My treat. So let's go out. Let's go out to eat something. In this case, lunch. And you're saying yo invito. Okay? Yo invito. Now, vamos means let's go. Okay? When you say vamos a, you're adding more to the sentence. Vamos a. So you're saying let's go to a place, essentially. You're saying that. You want to go to eat lunch somewhere. You want to go to a party. You want to go to buy groceries. So you can use the phrase vamos a. Vamos a. And then it's a very common thing. A common thing to do is to add some verb right after. Vamos a salir. Vamos a comer. Vamos a ver. Okay, so the verb has to be in the infinitive form. So that means don't conjugate it. Vamos a salir. That means let's go out. To almorzar. Almorzar means to eat lunch, essentially. The verb almorzar, it's a very good one. So it's a more advanced verb because you could say vamos a comer. Lunch. Even lunch is a common word that can be used in Spanish. Lunch. Vamos a comer lunch. Or vamos a comer afuera. That's just in general saying let's go eat out. Let's go out to eat anything, right? But almorzar means to have lunch or to eat lunch. Vamos a salir a almorzar. Vamos a salir a almorzar. Let's go out to lunch. That's essentially what you're saying. And then you have the phrase, yo invito, my treat. Okay? Yo invito, my treat. Excellent. Now, I see you guys are saying te invito, te invito. Is te invito correct? You can also say te invito. Essentially, you're saying I'm gonna pay for the food. So you can say yo invito, common thing to say, or you can also say te invito. But this is trickier or more. It's more difficult. It's more tricky. Why? Because this can change. When you say yo invito, you can use it, if you're saying this to a group of people, to one person. But if you say te invito, you're saying specifically you're paying for one person, Te invito. I'm paying for you, just one person. But you can say les invito, and that means I'm paying for the group, for anything that the group will eat. You're not paying for the group, you're just paying for what they're going to eat. Okay, so if you want to keep it easy, you can just say yo invito. Yo invito. Okay, so that means my treat. I will pay for whatever, one person, two people, or 10, 20, 50. Okay, so it's easier. So it's up to you if you want a challenge. And it's good to learn how to say the same thing in different ways. Te invito can also work, but that is very specific. You're paying for one person. You're paying whatever that person is eating. Okay, so yo invito is more general. You're just saying, I'll pay, my treat. Okay, great thing to mention. Thank you. Okay, excellent. So now let's look at another example using this phrase. La vez pasada me invitaste a comer. Hoy yo invito. Okay. La vez pasada me invitaste a comer. Hoy yo invito. Okay. So what does this mean? This means last time you paid for dinner. Today's my treat. So today I will pay. So don't you worry. Right? So that's a common thing to do among friends when they pay for you once, pay for lunch once, and then you have to pay for lunch the next time. So it's a common thing that happens everywhere. So let's break this down. La vez pasada. This is a great phrase. La vez pasada means last time. Okay, so vez means time when you're talking about different times, in this situation, last time. Pasada means last. In this situation, like the phrase la vez pasada means last time, specifically. Tú me invitaste. When you say me invitaste, that means you paid or you invited me. Okay, so you don't need to have tú, but you need to have me, because you are using reflexive pronouns. Will always be when they're needed. They need to be when you need them to be there. So me So you're referring to, you paid for me, me, for me. So invitaste. Invitaste again comes from the verb invitar, which means to pay for someone or to invite someone. In this situation, you paid. When you say invitar a comer as well, when you include a comer, invitar a comer, that means that you will pay for the dinner, for the meal. So that's very specific, right? So for dinner, I know it's not a literal translation, but the term invitar a comer, that means to invite or to pay for someone's dinner. Okay? So, te quiero invitar a comer. I want to take you to eat somewhere. Okay, so that's what you're saying. The term invitar a comer means to take someone to eat something, and usually you will pay for it. You will pay for it. You have to pay for the meal. Okay. Hoy means today, right? So yo invito, my treat. Similar, if you say hoy yo invito, that means today's my treat. Okay, so today it's time for me to pay. Today. I will do it today. Hoy yo invito. Excellent. So it's a very interesting phrase, yo invito. And there's a few things. It's crazy that we have the same verb invitar here, right? So interesting. We have yo invito, me invitaste. It's a common thing to do in Spanish, to use the verb invitar, to say, to pay for someone's meal, to invite them. Te invito a mi fiesta. I'm inviting you to my party, or yeah, that's what you're doing. Te invito a mi fiesta. I invite you to my party. Just come, please. So yeah, invitar is a great verb. It means two important things. Definitely.